Parents, I really hope you're enjoying our discussion today about sleep. I need to take a quick break, but stay with me. We'll talk more about how to train your baby to sleep. Now, let's say your baby cries in 15 minutes. You go back in the room and you rub his back. You don't turn on a light, you don't change the background noise, and you don't talk to him. You rub his back. Now, if he cries hard and stands up in that crib and starts shaking the rails and saying, "Get me out of here," you have to walk out of the room. And because clearly what you've done by walking in there and not getting him out of the crib is not suiting him, it's making him madder. So you walk out of the room. If he's still crying after 15 minutes, you can go back in, same routine. You don't say anything, you don't turn a light on, and you don't cave. You don't say, "Okay, get up and we'll eat." He's not hungry, right? He's not hungry. He just ate 45 minutes ago. So you know he's not hungry, and you know he's not ill, and you know he's not frightened. So what is he? He's saying to you, "Get in here, Mom or Dad. I want to play. I don't want to be here." Basically, he's having a temper tantrum. Now, if your 2-year-old were having a temper tantrum because you wouldn't give him a lollipop, would you say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, here's your lollipop"? No, you would say, "Sorry, you're not getting your lollipop." So when your baby at 6 months of age, 45 minutes after he's gone down for a nap, is screaming at you to come in and play, you say, "No, I'm not going to play. It's sleep time." And you may do this every 15 minutes for an hour and a half. And you go, "Well, that wasn't worth anything. My baby didn't sleep." It was worth a lot, because here's what you taught your baby. When I put you in your bed, you were there for at least an hour, hour and a half. Now, you don't have to sleep, but you will stay in there. You may need to do this 2 or 3 or 4 days. I guarantee you by the 4th day, he'll get it. He'll get it. "Oh, she's putting me in here and she's not coming back. She's not taking me out of the crib. I get it. I might as well sleep." So that's why you start during the nap time, so that you can keep your wits about you when you're going in there every 15 minutes, and you have the wherewithal and the stamina to not pick him up out of the bed. Now let's tackle the nighttime. We're done with naps, and you've been successful at naps, or at least your baby's getting used to the idea that when I'm in this place, I have to sleep. So during the day, you don't feed your baby any more frequently than 4 to 5 hours. You say, "Well, that's cruel, that's mean." It really isn't, because I guarantee you, your baby will eat whatever he needs to eat in order to grow, if he's an otherwise healthy baby. And at 6 or 8 months, they're also eating food. So you can give them some food in there. And I strongly encourage you, at the nighttime feed, you give them something that's going to stick to his stomach. So let's say you've gotten through the day and you're putting your baby down at about 8 or 8:30 at night, and you do the same thing. You do your pre-bedtime 15-minute routine, and you've got the lighting the same, and the bed the same, and the smells the same, and you've read, and you put your baby into bed, and he looks up at you and he screams. What is he saying? "Get back here. I don't want to be here." Rather, if you jump to him and go, "Okay, you really don't need to be here," and take him out, what you're telling him is, it's not okay for you to be in your crib alone. Every time you go in and pick up a crying child who you know is very tired and needs to sleep, and you know isn't hungry, and you pick that baby up, you are giving him a very clear signal. It's not okay for you to be alone. You need me. And the longer you give that signal, the longer it will take him to feel safe in his crib. You want to give just the opposite signal, and that is, it's okay for you to be in your crib alone. I'm right here. I can hear you always. You are safe. This is your safe place. So if he jumps up and he cries, you go in and you rub him and you say, "It's time to go to sleep." And then you walk out. Again, if he cries 10 or 15 minutes later, you go back in and you rub his back. You don't say anything. You don't talk to him. You don't cuddle him. You wait another 15 minutes, wait a little bit longer, another 20 minutes, and you go back in. If you've done this 3 or 4 times and a good hour and a half has gone by, it is okay, if he's really hysterical, to pick him up right at the bedside, give him a squeeze, give him a pat on the back, and soothe him and say, it's okay, and put him right back in the bed. Don't walk him out of the room. Don't walk him around. Put him right back into the bed, because you want to let him know he's safe, the room is okay, and you're always there. And you finally get him to sleep, and let's say he falls asleep at about 9 o'clock at night, and then he wakes up at 1 in the morning. Well, that's 4 hours, and you've just been sleep training, so it's okay to get up and feed him in his room, put him right back to bed. He wakes up another 4 hours. Try to push him off to 5 hours if you can. If he wakes up at 1 and you fed him, try to make him wait till 6 in the morning to eat. So with that second feed, you push it longer than you did the first feed. Or if it's harder for you to get up at 1 in the morning and you want to push it till 3 in the morning, push that first feed forward and then let him go a shorter period from the middle of the night feed to the morning feed. Whatever is best for you, because he can adapt to that. Some people go to bed at midnight, so getting up at 1 in the morning is terrible. So you get him up, you feed him at 1 in the morning, he wakes up at 4 or 5, you do not feed him, you go back in and you rub his back and you make him wait until it's 6 o'clock in the morning to eat. He's 6 or 8 months old, he can definitely wait 5 hours to eat, because there are kids who are 3 months old who are sleeping 10 hours at night. Certainly your 6 or 8 month old can. And then you go through your daytime routine. You feed him when he wakes up, you give him a good meal, you wait 4 or 5 hours, give him a good meal, he goes down for nap, and so forth. So let's say you did that again. You go back in at 8 or 8:30. Always keep, as best you can, the nighttime sleep time the same. If you're going to put him down at 7, always make it 7. If it's 8, make it 8. If it's 9, make it 9. Don't make it any later than 9, because that's going to be too hard for you. You put him down at 8 or 8:30. He goes to sleep, and an hour later, he's crying. And you want to go in there because you feel something's wrong. Learn your baby's cry. Learn his scared cry. Learn his I'm hurting cry. We're talking about a cry here that happens every single night you put him down. You know he's not afraid. You know he's just in the habit of not falling asleep. So an hour after he goes to sleep, he wakes up and he's screaming again. You wait 15 minutes. If he's still screaming, you go back in there. You rub his back and you leave, and you make your visit times very, very short, and you never talk. I promise you, if you do the same thing 3 or 4 nights in a row and you don't get him out of his crib after the first 2 or 3 bouts of crying, he will learn that it isn't even worth it to cry, because he's not going to get taken out of his crib anyway. So after you've trained him to do that, and this really won't take that much time if you're willing to stick it out. And he is going to cry, and it is going to be uncomfortable for you. But every time he cries, you think, lollipop. You think, this child is having a temper tantrum because he wants to get out of bed, he wants to play, and he wants me to do what he wants me to do. If he were 2 and having a temper tantrum, he'd want a lollipop. Would I give it to him? No. So you're not going to feed him that after that first hour, and you're not going to play with him. So he goes to sleep and he wakes up at 1, but you don't want to get up at 1. You make him wait till it's 2 o'clock. You get up, you feed him at 2, and then you make him wait another 4 hours. And now you've got at least a good rhythm where he goes to bed, he waits till 2 in the morning, he waits till 6 in the morning, and then you work with that for a few weeks. What you've done is you've taught him when he goes in his bed, he's not going to cry for 4 or 5 hours. You have to remember too, kids don't quote unquote sleep through the night until they're closer to 2. They wake up, they go to sleep. They wake up, they go to sleep. So there are a lot of times he's awake and he's not letting you know it. But the times that he's crying, he's saying, get in here, I want to do something. So what you're really training him to do is when he wakes up, not to wake you up. So the times that he wakes up and cries, he's really having a temper tantrum saying, get in here, get in here. Now, after you've got him down to feeding at, say, 2 in the morning and 6 in the morning, you need to drop that 2 a.m. feed. If somebody came in at 2 in the morning to you for a week and gave you your favorite food, let's say it's cheesecake, they woke you up at 2 in the morning, and gave you cheesecake every night at 2 in the morning, and then they stopped, what would happen the first night they stopped? Your stomach would grumble. You would wake up and go, "Where's my cheesecake?" That's exactly what's happening with your baby. At 2 in the morning, he's so used to eating that his stomach grumbles and he cries and he says, "Get in here." Well, the only way you're going to break his stomach from grumbling is to not feed him. And that's not going to take that long to do. So the reason he's waking up at 2 is not because he needs to eat, but his stomach is trained to eat. Just like your stomach would be trained to eat if somebody gave you your favorite food at 2 in the morning. So I guarantee you, once you stop the food, then the crying is going to stop, because the reason he wants to get up is because his stomach is telling him to get up. And then even after he stops eating in the night, he still may wake up a little bit at 2 in the morning, but he's not going to scream. He'll go back to bed because he'll realize, I've been in this crib for a number of hours here, and I'm not going to eat now because my stomach isn't grumbling. I can go back to sleep. And that's how you drop that middle of the night feed. So now you've got your baby sleeping from 8 or 8:30 till 6 in the morning.